Hello, everybody. Dave Neal here, stand-up comic and host of Bachelor Nation News. We've got several videos coming your way this morning regarding Kanye West and Kim Kardashian and the dramatic and really toxic behaviors that are coming out of Kanye's camp regarding his ex, although he still considers her his wife, Kim Kardashian. Now, how does this play in a Bachelor Nation? Well, we've got several different takes from Becca Martinez and Maurissa Gunn that are receiving some criticism online. What's that? Criticism in Bachelor Nation? No? Okay. Well, we'll get into all of that. Do me a favor, follow me on Instagram at dneals and help me. I'm posting stand-up clips and reels and whatever, all the other stuff over there, personal life stuff, wedding planning, as that's going on. So you can follow me over there. And if you want to be a part of the Patreon, I've got a live Patreon happening today, 10 a.m. Pacific time, patreon.com/Dave Neal, and I do a behind-the-scenes work with Dave where I actually make the videos, and you get to see the behind-the-scenes process of that while we all hang out. It's a ton of fun, and of course, if you haven't already, the freest and nicest thing you can do is hit the subscribe button and like this video an odd number of times. All right, let's get into it. So here's what Maurissa posted. If you don't love me the way Kanye loves Kim, I don't want it. #bye, see ya, have a good one. And this received a lot of flack, because Kanye is, I guess most would consider, harassing and his ex, Kim, and her boyfriend, Pete Davidson, comedian from SNL. He's issued apologies and said, I'm going to try to do better. He was using all cap locks. His whole page was just a random tirade, trying to win her back, sent her a truck full of flowers, which the truck full of flowers is fine, I guess, but it's like, guys like me had to go buy flowers at a jacked up price because we have supply chain issues. Turns out it's not because of the pandemic. It's because of Kanye West sending trucks full of flowers. So we'll get into all of that. Here's the truck. It said, my vision is crystal clear. I think that's the problem, Kanye. We all see the vision. It's derailing right now. Now, of course, this is not to make light of mental health issues, which Kanye has openly talked about. But it's also not Kim's problem to fix. Mental health problems, you can only help somebody so much before you then have to protect your own. And every mother that I've ever met is going to take their kid's safety before helping out. You know what I mean? Like he's going to need help, and it's not going to be through Kim's camp. Now, Kim, of course, multi-millionaire. Is she a billionaire? What's the difference at this point? The whole family's doing really well, and they've put themselves out there through Keeping Up with the Kardashians and shows like that. But at the same time, it's a curated way to control, to put yourself out there. They obviously don't air everything. So what's happening now with Kanye sharing their text messages and this and that is not good. So I made a video already about this situation, this release this morning. Kanye said, I didn't wake up and fight for my family to trend over the Super Bowl, but it happened. And it's like, Kanye, you kind of created this mess. And then Kim said in the private messages that were released, there are dangerous people out there, and this is scary, and it doesn't have to be. So Kim begs Kanye to stop harassment. So you can go watch that full video on the Dave Neal Show, but the Bachelor version of it is just super toxic, that Maurissa is saying, love me like Kanye loves Kim. And people are asking, oh, you mean in the most toxic way possible? So there's comments coming in from people that pretty much sum up what we believe to be how Maurissa and Riley's relationship ended. And of course, we don't know. Riley seems like a good guy, but you never know. You never know what's going on behind closed doors, but people are starting to go, oh, it appears as though Maurissa may be the one who wanted something out of Riley that a healthy relationship would not provide. Some commented, well, that explains a lot. My literal exact thoughts. Outbursts on Paradise, constant need for validation, and praising toxic relationships. Not saying it's the reason, but I'd dip too. Now, we don't really know for sure how much Maurissa follows the situation. If she's just referring to the grand gesture, of course, people like Tia would love this as well. If she's just referring to the grand gesture of dumping a ton of roses at someone's house in a, contractor 4-door pickup truck, then that's one thing. But let's assume that she knows there's a little bit more going on. Kanye trying to win back Kim at all costs, is calling her his wife, which maybe technically she is, but I think what we should all agree on is that if someone wants to leave a relationship, you let them leave. I mean, this isn't a cult. This is a relationship, is joint agreements, and if he's not fulfilling his end of the bargain, good for her for walking away and protecting her family. It's not unreasonable that she's seeing someone else months after they've separated. That's not unreasonable at all. And it appears to me that Kanye wants control that he just can't get. He's done this recently with Billie Eilish. We know Travis Scott. There was Travis Scott, a friend of Kanye's. There was something like 10 or 11 people died, were trampled to death at his concert. And when Billie Eilish had somebody who needed an inhaler at hers, she said something along the lines of, "We stop the concert when someone needs help in the audience." And of course, that received a cheer, to which Kanye was like, "Oh, how are you going to be, dissing my guy like that?" And he said, "I'm refused to perform at Coachella until Billie Eilish apologized," in which case Billie Eilish said, "I'm not apologizing for anything. What are you talking about?" And that's where that lays. So, accompany that with the past issue of Kanye overtaking the stage during Taylor Swift's winning of an award to claim that Beyonce should have won. It appears that that Kanye knows nothing but control in his life and maybe is surrounded by enablers that enable that toxicity, while Kim Kardashian, it looks like he has met his match because she does not need him. And a lot of control in relationships, at least in a toxic place, comes from controlling people's money, manipulating people because you make the money and they don't, so they have to listen to you and they can't afford to leave. I believe every relationship should not worry about who's the breadwinner. At both sides of the party bring something to the table. If a mom's staying at home mothering their children and the husband is the breadwinner, just because he brings in the money doesn't mean he's doing a harder job. Most people out there understand that mothering is probably way harder than whatever you get to do going to work. You know what I mean? Like, come on, work. I mean, you might have a tough job, but nothing's tougher than your kids just pulling at you all day, right? So anyway, Maurissa probably doesn't know too much about that. Obviously doesn't have kids, but it is an interesting story that she's saying, this is the side I'm going to stand on, and people are starting to realize, oh, we get it. This makes perfect sense, because we know when in Bachelor in Paradise, a photo right here, when Maurissa and Riley started dating, he went away, on a group date, and she freaked out. And that's an attachment issue. As far as I know, not a psychologist, not a therapist. I get messages from people when I mentioned I thought it was codependency. People said no. This codependency is putting someone else's happiness ahead of your own. So it's doing something else for others instead of yourself. It's the giving tree. Giving away his shade, his branches, his tree stumps for this man until he sits on them with nothing left and he's just a stump. This is a little different. So. It's not uncommon for people in unhealthy unions to make excuses for their partner's behavior or to be in denial about the way things are. But if you're constantly dealing with feelings of jealousy, insecurity, or anxiety, then you're likely veering into destructive territory. Here's another way to tell if you're dealing with toxic love. Healthy relationships make you feel content and energized, whereas toxic relationships leave you feeling depressed and drained. And that could be a dangerous thing. In a long-term study that followed more than 10,000 subjects, researchers discovered that participants who are in negative relationships were at a greater risk for developing heart problems. So obviously, internal issues, sickness, people lose their hair, they go gray. They have all these issues, hives come up. My mom left my father when she was pregnant with me. I have no problem talking about it. My father has passed away several years ago. I got to meet him when I was 19. So I didn't grow up knowing my father. My mom left him. He was a Vietnam War vet, PTSD, and he had his issues. He was a nice, charming guy, but he also had a dark side, probably some sort of attachment issue, controlling, jealousy. And my mom was, her own sickness would present itself in physical forms because the mental and the heart and the emotional side had problems. So my mom did what any mom would do, and that was get herself and me and my sister out of a situation while she was still pregnant with me that was harmful to her and to our family. And years later, we appreciate my mom for that, and she had a family structure that was able to get her out. Not everybody has that. So for Maurissa, it appears that there's some form of toxicity happening. Again, we don't know if it's her or Riley. It's kind of foolish to even hypothesize in these types of videos. But what we like to do is use these examples of attachment styles, toxic love, and talking about Kanye and Kim because we all have that in our life, whether it be a sibling who's going through some issues with a controlling ex or domestic violence. These issues exist all over society. Hard stop. It knows no, it doesn't care what your socioeconomic levels are. It exists everywhere from top to bottom. So one of the things I like to look at is how to break out of it, emotional attachment. With Maurissa, again, can't diagnose her, not my place to be, but her relationship with Riley ended. Now Riley's again, he might be a part of the problem, we don't know, but he's a lawyer. He gets up at sunrise and works out every day. He's got his own regimen in New York City, and it appears that Maurissa just never took root to the city of New York, which can happen, having lived there. Some people just don't quite make it. It doesn't mean they're not good people. It's just a city that doesn't fit everybody's style. So here we go. If you believe your attachment to someone is less than healthy, you can do a few things to address this yourself. First, consider some potential reasons behind the attachment, such as fear of being alone, emptiness, and insecurity when not in a relationship, vaguely defined sense of self. Hey, shout out to the new subscriber, Jody Rogers, for just subscribing. We just got the alert there. Once you have a better idea of these underlying triggers, you can begin exploring solutions. Dedicate time to self-discovery can help you reconnect with your personal identity. Creating time for yourself to do things you enjoy can help alone time feel more rewarding. Working to build and strengthen positive relationships with friends and family can help you feel secure even without a romantic partner. So yeah, attachment styles begin as a child, usually passed down from whatever the parents did, imprinted on us. We just want to be able to send a receipt to our parents for some mental health therapy, because it's like, why do I get lonely so easily, Mom? What's the deal with that? But you see someone like Maurissa, look at her Instagram, videos and reels of her working out, living her best life. I don't know. You shouldn't always have to break up a relationship to find this, but sometimes that's the only thing people know how to do. It's almost like if you're going to do a new diet, you eliminate, the elimination method. All right, let's get rid of sugar. Let's get rid of dairy. Well, Marissa's like, let's get rid of Riley. Or maybe Riley's like, let's get rid of Maurissa. If a relationship can't handle common stresses now, how's it going to handle kids and all the other issues that may come up, right? We always say this, but a relationship needs to be the dessert, not the main course. So find out what the main course is in your life, whether it be healthy diet, healthy exercise, having groups that you belong to, having roots that are good enough to stand on their own so you can find your happiness within. Because if you're searching to find happiness through somebody else, eventually even the biggest of people pleasers will be left drained and exhausted by your lecherous need for their energy. That's just the way it works. That's my take on Maurissa and Riley and whatever situation they're going through. I may be off. That's fine too. Hopefully we learned a little bit of something. And I'm going to bring to you guys next what Becca Martinez is going through with regards to her comments on the Kim and Kanye situation. Don't forget, you can actually click on the link right there. There's a link right there, and you can click on that and watch the Dave Neal Show, which is all non-Bachelor related entertainment news. All right, folks, we'll have more content coming your way. Patreon today, 9 a.m. Pacific time. We'll see you guys over there. Patreon.com/DaveNeal. Bye, everybody.